Hello, you guys. Good morning again. So, we're going to continue on with the date night book. We're going to finish out this book this morning. We're on date 36. I'm just going to mostly be reading. Again, I'm going to go over really quick the little menu guide. So, $1 is little to no cost. $2 is under $10. $3 is under $50. $4 is over $50. One muscle is little to no effort. 2 muscles is some effort. 3 muscles is much effort. 4 muscles are heavy lifting. And sorry, you guys, about the noise. After I left the park and we did the walk. I came to where I need to be for after that stop, but I want to record first before I get out and go in the building. So 4 muscles is heavy lifting. 3 muscles is much effort. Then for the hearts, 1 heart is little romance factor. 2 hearts are some romance factor. 3 hearts are great romance factor. 4 hearts are pure romance. So we're on page 109 for you following along in the book. And we're going to go to 159. And this is date 36. And it says short and sweet. So this is going to be under $10, little to no effort, and little romance factor. It says, one Saturday while out running errands together, pull into an automated car wash, the kind where you are basically in a long tunnel of brushes and towels that dangle over your car. Pay the attendant, and once your car is fully in the wash, lean in for a long kiss. Just kissing. Keep kissing until the dry cycle is finished. On your way home, talk about the level of enjoyment that brought even though you both knew it would not lead to anything beyond that. Now determine how often in a week you two should kiss passionately with no other agenda. Okay, page 110 is closer together and closer to God. Closer together says write down your weekly kissing goal. Closer to God says your lips drop sweetness as the honeycomb, my bride. Milk and honey are under your tongue. That's Song of Songs 4:11. And then the prayer says, giver of all good gifts, thank you for the gift of intimacy a kiss brings to our relationship, and it gives you the highlights of the day. And then 111 says playtime. Okay, just so you know, we practice what we preach. We tried our dating suggestion just the other day. IJ said to Laura, we need to try the kissing thing. She said, no, there are people here. I said, not once, we're in the car wash. It sounds romantic, doesn't it? It all depends on what kind of car you're driving. We were in an SUV with the large center console. Suffice to say, I had to visit my chiropractor after that episode. Okay, that was cute. So date 37 is pages 112 to 114. And this is titled Pamper Him. So yesterday we talked about Pamper Her, and this one is Pamper Him. So this is going to be under $50, some effort, and a great romance factor. It says, arrange for the kids to go to grandma's or a friend's house for a sleepover. Return the favor next weekend. Ask him if there is a Redbox or Netflix movie he's been wanting to see. If he can't think of one, then rent 3 you think he'd like and let him choose. Go to the grocery store and buy preparations for his favorite meal. Before dinner, go with him to the gun range or to play 9 holes or to just wander around his favorite outdoor store. Ask questions about his favorite activity, like, how did you first get into this? What makes it so special to you? When you get home, have dinner by candlelight. Don't worry about the dishes, do them in the morning. Tell him to pick a movie while you secretly go slip into something comfy. The level of comfy is totally up to your comfort zone. Just make sure he knows you're in for the night, for the evening. Okay, 113. Don't be surprised if you find him doing last night's dishes in the morning. And Closer Together says, write down how it made you feel to pamper him. Closer to God says, how delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume more than any spice. That's from Song of Songs 4:10. And then the prayer says, Father, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the beautiful gift you have given me in blank, insert his name. I ask that you bless him and keep him at the center of my love. And then it gives you highlights of the day. Love and Insight on page 114. When we first read the 5 love languages, Jay decided his primary love language was physical touch. He assumed that this had to be one of his love languages since he enjoys our times of intimacy. His secondary love language is words of affirmation. As a young woman whose spiritual gift is sarcasm and lives in her own personal bubble, I felt miserably at speaking his languages. After some time, we reread the book, This time taking the test offered there and realized Jay's primary love language is acts of service, not physical touch. And then they have here like, woo. What we realized was that physical touch is not necessarily sex. Physical touch as a love language is someone who loves to hug others, is comfortable sitting close to another. Such people receive love from another through touching. What we came to understand is Jay was not that person. He received love when I did something for him, like clean the house or cook dinner, acts of service. He also received love when I complimented him, words of affirmation. Our intimate life was only a minor part of how he experienced love. Discovering our real love languages allowed us to understand each other so much better. Okay, this is date 37 and it is ice cream parlor. It's going to be little to no cost, little to no effort, and some romance factor. This is pages 115 to 117. Take her to an ice cream parlor where they make real milkshakes and serve them in tall glasses rather than paper. Order her favorite milkshake in 2 straws. Sit across the table from each other and share the milkshake. Each of you can only take a sip after telling the other, one thing I love about you is blank, blank, blank. Take turns until the milkshake is finished. When you're done, stand up and put a big kiss on her right there in public. Let the world know you love her. So closer together says write down all the things you listed you loved about each other while you shared your shake. Closer to God is I will sing for the one I love, and that's Isaiah 5 verse 1. And then the prayer says, God in heaven, continue to grow our love for each other. May we continually reflect on what we love about each other. And then it gives you space for the highlights of the date. And page 117 it says date tip. No visit to the Tampa Bay area is complete without going to Mazzaro's. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Italian market and coffee bar. It is one of a kind. So much more than a market, it's an experience. So those of us who know the ropes start by getting a small gelato. Now, while slowly eating your gelato, you can slowly make your way to the butcher shop, the cheese shop, the wine shop. Oh, and we haven't even made it to the bakery or deli section yet. As you scroll, make a list, and when you are done with your gelato, fill up your cart with food. Find some of those special places in your area where you can get an experience, not just stuffing things. Although there's nothing wrong with the stuffing things. Okay, you guys, so we're on date 39, and like I said yesterday, we're just going to keep reading through, you guys, to finish out this book. Date 39 is called Giving Back. This is pages 118 to 120, and it says it's little to no cost, it's some effort, and it's little romance factor. Okay, it says it seems like everyone has clothes that don't fit anymore or are way out of style. So one Saturday, sleep in, fix a brunchy meal, and then head to your clothes closet and chest of drawers. Spend the next 4 or 5 hours, yes, it will take that long, going through your clothes one by one and placing them in 3 piles. Pile number 1 is keep. It's the pile you'll keep. Pile 2 is the pile you're going to donate to charity. And then pile 3 is the toss pile. The clothes no one will wear because they are so tattered. Okay, it says put back the clothes you are going to keep. Place the toss pile in the trash and load up the minivan with the clothes for charity. After you deliver the clothes, find a favorite coffee shop, grab a coffee and something ooey gooey, and talk about how you give back to your community and ways you can do more. So Closer Together says write down how you give back and the ways you can do more. Closer to God says give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For what the measure you use, it will be measured to you. And that's from Luke 6:38. And then the prayer says, Lord, we can never outgive you. May we remember to walk through life with our eyes open to those in need. And then it gives you a space for the highlights of the date. Okay, you guys, so date tip is page 120. It says, for us, we love to give back to the community through Thrivent Action Teams. As members of that team, Thrivent Financial, we each get $250 twice a year, $1,000 between us, that we give to local charities to help them with the project. It's a great way to invest in your community. Our local Youth for Christ chapter holds a pie auction on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Dozens of pies are donated by top bakers in the area and are auctioned out to aid the work of Youth for Christ. Every year, IJ do a $250 action team and purchase coffee and ice cream to go with the pies. You can find a simple way to help a charity with their project, and your efforts can go far. Last year, for example, my action team helped YLC raise nearly 30 grand. Now that's some good pie. And that is a good deed for that. So now guys, we're on date 40, and this is called Fancy Date. This is going to be pages 121 to 123. And this is going to be, let me check this thing. It's going to be over $50, some effort, and pure romance. Okay, it says it's time to take it up a notch. Surprise her with a fancy date. And then preparation, so it has 3 hearts. The first heart says, call and make reservations at a fancy restaurant in town. If you don't have one in your town, find one in the city near you. Second heart says, take one of her favorite outfits to the dry cleaners so it's cleaned and pressed for her. Do the same thing for your favorite suit and dress shirt. And then heart number 3 says, the day before your date, tell her what time you are going to pick her up. And it says, on the day of your date, get in your car, drive it around the block, and pull it into the driveway, not the garage. Go to the front door and ring the doorbell. When she answers, offer your arm and escort her to the car. Open the car door and close it for her. Repeat this process in reverse when you get to the restaurant. Use a valet if available. During dinner, talk about how you felt when you first started dating. What made you fall in love with each other? When you take her home, pull in the driveway, walk her to the door, give her a kiss, and say you can't wait to do this again. Drive around the block, and while doing so, pull over somewhere safe and call her cell phone just to say again how you enjoyed the evening with her. You never know what might occur when you pull into the garage and walk into the house. So closer together, that's cute. Closer together says write down those things that made you fall in love with each other. Okay, closer to God says, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. And that's from Song of Songs, verses 1 to 2. Chapter 1, verse 2. And then the prayer says, Father, thank you for the gift of love and the chance to fall in love all over again. As we walk with you, may we forever stay in love. Okay, the highlights of the date, and I believe this is Snafu. Every time I see this, I'll be trying to, that's on page 123. And then it says, Jay, did this for Laura for her 40th birthday. I ended it by booking a couples massage. I thought we'd be in the same room romantically holding hands while we were being gently massaged. The night was going great until I pulled up to the spa where we were getting our massages. What's this? You know I don't like to be touched, Laura reminded. And then he has here, oops. I had forgotten that Laura is very particular about her personal space. I apologized profusely, but explained I had already paid for it, so we should at least give it a try. When we got into the spa and into our robes, they separated us. Laura went off into, and it's nothing like a good body massage, right, you guys? Laura went off into one room with a sweet-looking 20-something young woman. They sent me away with a 6'4" Scandinavian sack of muscles. When we were done, Laura declared she was now a fan of massages. 7 had worked me over to the point I could barely move. So, guys, now we're on date 41. This is a short one, you guys. It's pages 124 to like 126. Okay, it does have Adventures Are Us, so it does to 126, like 2 pages. Okay, this is called the Real Estate Date. It's little to no cost. It's little to no effort, and it is some romance factor. It says it's a Saturday afternoon date that will have you dreaming together. All over the city, realtors are hosting open houses in homes they have listed for sale. Check the internet for a list of open houses and select 3 or 4 to go see. Take your time as you tour the homes and snack on the goodies they have provided. As you drive to the next location, talk about what you did and didn't like about that home. When you finish your last open house, talk about your dream home. Closer Together says write down details about your dream home. Closer to God says take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. That's Psalms 37 verse 4. And then the prayer says, God in heaven, as we dream about our future, may we remember to delight in you first and foremost. And then it gives you the space for the highlights of the date. Okay, you guys, so page 126, Adventures Are Us, says Hometown, House Hunters International, Caribbean Life, and Beach Life are some of our favorite shows to watch on TV. HGTV plays a close rival to the Food Network in our house. So when we had an opportunity to tour Southern Living Home Makeover, we jumped at it. It was a 2-hour drive to get there, but so worth it. It was located on the side of a mountain in North Georgia. It was beautiful. It was fun to walk through the house and look at decorating ideas, use of space, and design layout. We made a day of it, stopping for good barbecue for lunch and, of course, a stop at an outlet mall on the way back. Always look for opportunities to dream together and maybe eat some good food. So now, guys, date 42 is take a hike. This is pages 127 through 129. It's going to be little to no cost, some effort. No, little to no effort. I'm going to repeat this. It's going to be little to no cost, little to no effort, some romance factor. Okay, so it says take a hike. Somewhere near you, most likely within an hour drive, there are some beautiful hiking trails through God's creation. And then it gives you the preparations, and it has the 4 black hearts. The first one is print off a map of the trails. Number 2 heart, pack a fun lunch of finger foods like cheese, crackers, salami, grapes, etc. The 3rd heart says, remember plenty of water. The 4th heart says, bring a blanket for the picnic. Most public trails are loops. In other words, they start and finish at the same location. Pick a loop that will take some time but won't exhaust you. 2 to 5 miles are usually good loops where you can take your time and enjoy the scenery. Halfway through your hike, look for a shady place to spread your blanket and have your picnic. By bringing finger foods, you will naturally graze and take a more leisurely time through lunch. Over lunch, talk about the path your relationship is on and whether you are happy with the direction you are taking as a couple. You could talk about your career path, your family path, your spiritual path, or any other path you can think needs attention. Closer Together says write down which path you discussed and any plans you made to adjust or correct the path. Closer to God says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. And that's from Proverbs 16, verse 9. And then the prayer says, Lord Jesus, we ask that your Holy Spirit guide our steps as we walk this path together. And then it gives you the space for the highlights of the date. Adventures Are Us is page 129. It says, one of the things we love about our Celebrate Your Marriage conference at Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island is the chance we have to do some hiking. The island, which is 8 miles around and shaped like a turtle shell, is full of wonderful hiking trails and unique destinations like Arch Rock or Sugar Loaf. One destination we had never been to was the crack in the island. It's described as a long crevice that cuts the island in two right down the middle of the turtle shell. It sounded like an adventure. We got there and discovered what is basically a 50-foot elongated hole. Remember, it's not always about the destination, but about the journey and your traveling mate. Okay, so date 43, and guys, this has like 52 dates, so we're almost done. We're on page 130. We have to go to 159, so I think we're doing good in this short amount of time. Date 43 is the double date. This is going to be pages 130 to 132. And it's going to be under $50, some effort, and little romance factor. Preparations. The first black heart says call up friends and set a date to get together. Second says agree on a place to meet. We suggest some place with more than just food, such as Top Golf, Dave & Buster's, or an outdoor shopping dining complex. Plan to spend at least 3 hours eating dinner and doing something fun together. Keep in mind throughout the evening that many women enjoy conversation and many men enjoy activities and vice versa, so try to incorporate a good mix of both. Throughout the evening, reminisce about the memories you share with these good friends. Okay, Closer Together says write down the qualities you look for in good friends. Closer to God says the righteous choose their friends carefully. Proverbs 12:26. Then the prayer says, Father God, we thank you for the relationships we have built with friends over the years. May we never take for granted the people with whom you surround us. And then it gives you highlights of the date. And then here's the date tip. Going on dates with just the two of you is important and a must in our book. But double dating with another couple or two is just as important. Having friends you both enjoy being with is a great way to build your friendship with your spouse. It is also a great eye-opener to see you two are not so bad as a couple. We have a few couples that we enjoy hanging around. We have done vacations together, dinners together, weddings, graduations, baby showers together. We have discovered having these couples in our lives adds a richness that we wouldn't have otherwise. We have people whom we walk hard journeys with, people who take care of each other in crisis, people we can laugh at and with. Find other couples that you can do life with. Okay, 44 is going to be pages 133 to 135, and it says, be lay on. This is going to be under $50. It's going to be much effort, and it's going to be little romance factor. Okay, it says rock climbing is a really great way to work together and challenge each other to reach beyond comfort zones. You can do this date only one time, or if you really enjoy it, you can join a rock climbing club gym. Whether you decide to do it once or multiple times, the first time you won't need to purchase any equipment, as the gym will most likely have what you need. If you decide to join a club, purchasing your own equipment will probably be a great idea. As you encourage each other to reach for new heights and climb farther, you will find that with each step you are feeling closer to each other. When you finish climbing, talk about some ways you can encourage each other daily to reach new heights, try new things, and go beyond your comfort zones. Closer Together says write down ways each of you needs to be encouraged. Also write down ways to encourage the other so he or she hears it. Closer to God says, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That's from Isaiah 40:31. It says, Lord, may we use our words and actions to encourage each other. And it gives you the space for the highlights of the day. And then one way says, every January we host a marriage cruise called Celebrate Your Marriage at Sea. We travel to different locations and bring along different marriage experts. Years ago, Laura committed to doing one high-adventure excursion with me each year. We've gone parasailing, snorkeling, and climbed Dunn River Fall, to name a few. One year, our cruise ship had a ropes course with a plank that stretched out over the ship above the ocean. Sadly, Laura couldn't do it. She is dreadfully afraid of heights, and the idea of being over the open water was just too much to handle. That was a few years ago. This year, our high adventure excursion was salsa and salsa. We learned to make 6 different kinds of salsa, and we learned to salsa dance. And if you've ever seen me, Jay, dance, you'd know it was high adventure. Okay, guys, so we're on date 45. This is called Pickleball, and this is pages 136 to 138. This is going to be under $50. It's going to be much effort, and it's also going to be little romance factor. Okay, it says pickleball is gaining popularity as a great sport for fun and fitness. All you need to start is pickleball paddles, balls, and the rules. Some communities have facilities specifically for pickleball, but you could also use a local tennis court. Before trying it out, Google the rules, as it can be a bit complicated at first. Pickleball is a great low-key game, a mixture between tennis and ping pong, or it could be highly competitive. You choose. We would suggest for your first time, just play the 2 of you. As you get more experience, invite other couples. It can be a great couples date. After playing, discuss how your marriage can at times be like pickleball. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We spend a lot of our time running kids to school and practices, grocery shopping, laundry, dishes, house cleaning, meetings, then throw going to work in there, and we have no time for each other. What are some ways you can add some consistency to your life? What are some ways you can make time for just the 2 of you? Closer Together says write down the ways you have decided to make time for each other. Schedule it. Closer to God says, yes, my soul find rest in God. My hope comes from him. And that's from Psalm 62, verse 5. And then the prayer says, Lord, may we find rest for our busy lives in you. Remind us to find time for each other. And then you can leave the highlights of the day. And then playtime is on page 138. It says pickleball is the fastest growing sport you may have never heard of. According to Wikipedia, the game started during the summer of 1965 on Bainbridge Island, Washington, at the home of Joel Pritchard, who later served in Congress and as lieutenant governor. He and 2 of his friends, Bill Bell and Barney McCallum, returned from golf and found their families bored one Saturday afternoon. We have visited the Pickleball Museum on Bainbridge Island. We actually stumbled upon it. We didn't even know it existed, much like we discovered pickleball. We have attempted to play pickleball at our local recreation center with some friends. We are not very good. We bought the equipment. We reserved the court at a time when the rec center is not very busy. It was fun, but I, Laura, think we laughed more than we hit the ball. Dating is about finding new things to do. Okay, chapter 46 says home improvement. This is going to be little to no cost, some effort, and little romance factor. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because it's like I'm getting a call, but I need to finish out what I can in this book, because I think it's going to only give us so many minutes. I want to try to finish this out. Okay, home improvement. So this is little to no effort, some effort. No, little to no cost, some effort in Little Romance Factor. This is page 139 to 141. And it says, drive to your local home improvement store. Take a long, slow walk around every department and talk about what you like best in each one. Ask each other, which stove do you like best? What tile design is your favorite? If you could get any grill, which one would you get? Dream a little with each other. Now that you've dreamed a bit, have a conversation on your way home about what room of your home you would redecorate first and why you choose that room. Okay, closer together says, write down your plans for redecorating and put a potential start date, even if it is 10 years from now. Closer to God says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. That's from Psalms 127, verse 1. And then the prayer says, Father, you are the great creator. Thank you for the chance to reflect you as we dream and create in our relationship. And then it gives you the highlights of the date. And then Snapview or Snowview says, you can pray for Laura. You see, I am home improvement impaired. I have to recite righty, tighty, lefty, loosey when screwing in a light bulb. I know you're thinking, surely your dad tried to teach you how to fix things around the house. And you'll be right, but his efforts didn't pay off with me. Years ago, I noticed my toilet was leaking from the little tube that goes from the floor into the toilet tank. I called my friend Russ, who owns a plumbing and heating business. When I explained the situation, he said, Jay, that's a $5 part at the hardware store. If I send out one of my guys, it's a $60 service call. You can do this. I bought the part, shut off the water, and drained the tank just like Russ told me to do. I unscrewed the bad tube and screwed the good tube into the floor. Russ said to make sure the tube was tight. Does anyone really know what tight is? As I was screwing the tube into the toilet tank, I heard the tank crack as a result of me tightening the tube too far. I called Russ. You know that guy of yours who's going to cost me $60 for the service call? Have him bring a toilet tank. Well, at least he tried, right? Okay, so date 47 is pages 142 to 144. And this is called Helping Others. It's under $50. It is much effort, and it's Little Romance Factor. It says, find a local homeless shelter or soup kitchen. Call and arrange a time for the two of you as a couple to volunteer together. On the day of serving your community, be sure to go into this date with the great attitude of service, but also with your heart and mind open to what you might learn. Serve with love in your heart for those you are serving. Take a check for $50, which represents the cost of a nice date, and make it out to the homeless shelter or soup kitchen. As you leave, give the check to the person in charge, providing thanks for what he or she does on a daily basis. On the way home, count your blessings. Literally make a list below of the blessings you enjoy. Okay, 143 is closer together, closer to God. Closer together says our list of blessings, and it gives you a space to write your list of blessings, or you too could just write your list of blessings. Closer together says that. Closer to God says, the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me. You did for me. That's from Matthew 25, verse 40. The prayer says, God in heaven, you have showered us with blessings we do not deserve. May we spend our days blessing others. And then it gives you highlights of the date. Taking care is page 144. It says, every Thanksgiving, a local church in our town hosts Thanksgiving dinner for people who have no family, can't afford food, or just need a place to go on the holiday. Now, holidays are big in our family. We had never given up our tradition in order to help someone else, sorry to say. The local school student leadership groups encourage teenagers to help prepare, serve, decorate, and even cook for the dinner. Teenagers will be at the church at 6 a.m. just to peel potatoes. Our children as teenagers helped at this dinner. One Thanksgiving, the kids encouraged us to do it as a family. I, Laura, was reluctant to give up our tradition to do this, but alas, we did. It was so amazing to see so many people helping others. Dating isn't always about ourselves. Sometimes it could be about serving others. Okay, date 48 is the stay-at-home date. This is going to be pages 145 to 147. Stay-at-home date. This is going to be under $50, little to no effort, and it's going to be great romance factor. It says, send the kids to grandma's house or to a friend's house for a sleepover. If sending to a friend's house, offer to return the favor next weekend. Order delivery of a meal he has been craving. Redbox or Netflix a movie she really wants to see. Now lock the doors and pull all the blinds. Block all calls except grandma's or your friend who has the kids. Eat dinner by candlelight and share with each other 3 good things that happened to you this week. Watch the movie side by side on the couch like you did when you were dating. Allow yourselves to be vulnerable together, whether by revealing your innermost thoughts or through physical intimacy, knowing you are completely alone for the night. Closer Together says, write a 3-sentence love note for one another and exchange them. Then write them here. Closer to God says, come away, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or like a young stag on the spice-laden mountains. Song of Songs 8:14. Lord, thank you for the gift of intimacy. May we never take our love for granted, but rather give you praise for the gift of each other. Then you can leave the highlights of the date. And page 147 is FYI. It says, we love our job. We love traveling and hosting our ultimate date nights and celebrate your marriage conferences. But while we love our jobs, there are a few things we could do without. Seplucking, however you pronounce that, luggage around airports, loading and unloading boxes of books, and eating out. The stay-at-home date is our favorite because we eat out so much. Let us give you an example. From January 31st, 2020 until March 1st, 2020, we were home just 8 days. Why? It's the month of love and the month where Jay gains 20 pounds. 20 pounds from eating out so much. Therefore, we love the stay-at-home date. We actually get to share a meal and more in our own home. So, guys, we're going to close out dates 49 and 52 because it's getting ready to cut off on us in part 2 to today's word with this book. God bless and thanks for tuning in.